Here we are, section 5.5 video number 2. And we are going to pick right up where we left off, and that was example number 7. Example number 7 asks us to use the rational zeros theorem to find all the real zeros of the polynomial function, and we're going to use the zeros to factor f over the real numbers. Well, one of the things that we are going to do here is, first of all, get the list of possible zeros so that we're not going to be testing if we have the list like we did in 5 and 6 and we don't and we choose a different number, then we're just wasting our time because it will not happen. So I look at number 7 and I get 1, 2, 5, and 10, and this might be 1 and 5 down here. So that means plus or minus all these lists. 1, 2, 5, 10. It might be 1/5. It might be 2/5. It might be 5/5, which is 1, or 10/5, which is 2. So those are all of the possible rational zeros. Now, which one am I going to try? Well, luck would have it that I'm going to try -1 because I know that it actually works. But using the synthetic division again, I know that -1 works, so I'm going to put in 5, -22, -17, and 10, and we'll just show that it does work because we actually need to use the information to make our lives a little simpler. Drop down the 5. 5 times -1 is -5. Add -27. Multiply. -27 times -1 is 27. Add is 10. 10 times -1 is -10, and to add we get 0. So it does work out. And perhaps even more importantly, we're left with 5x squared minus 27x plus 10. So we know that since -1 works, it's x plus 1 times that. But this will factor even further, and so we get x plus 1 times, this factors to 5x minus 2 times x minus 5. And so that would be the factored form as being asked in problem number 7. 8, 9, and 10 ask us to find the intercepts. And guess what? It's no different than what we've been doing in all the past times. So I'm going to find the y-intercept. F of 0 equals 0 cubed minus 6 times 0 squared minus 0 plus 6, which equals 6. So 0, 6 is one of the intercepts. Then to try and factor the others, this is where we need to go through the whole process of trying to factor. So we're going to do 0 equals x cubed minus 6x squared minus x plus 6. Well, I'm going to factor by grouping. So I group these first two together, no problem. I'm going to group those two there, but realize as soon as I group it with a minus here, I do need to change that sign right there to a negative. So this becomes minus 6, and then I can factor out an x squared up here, so it's x minus 6, and I can factor out a 1 here, x minus 6, which is a good thing because now I know that this is equal to x squared minus 1 times x minus 6, and that's all going to equal 0. So now I can set each one of these equal to 0 and find the remaining intercepts. X squared minus 1 equals 0, or x squared equals 1. So x will equal either a positive or a negative 1. Likewise, x minus 6 equals 0, so that means x equals 6. So that leaves 6, 0, 1, 0, and -1, 0. And there are the 4 intercepts: 1, 0, -1, 0, 6, 0, and 0, 6. Example 9. Example 9, I'm going to take the easy one first, f of 0. F of 0, it would be 4 times 0 squared times 0 plus 3, the quantity cubed, which is all equal to 0. So 0, 0 is one of the intercepts. Then what we need to do is let 0 equal 4x squared times x plus 3, the quantity cubed. Set each one of these equal to 0. 4x squared equals 0. Divide by 4. X squared equals 0. So x equals 0. So that's still going to be 0, 0. The x plus 3, the quantity cubed, equals 0. We can take the cubed root of both sides. X plus 3 equals 0, and so x would equal negative 3. And so the other intercept will be the point negative 3, 0. Example number 10. F of 0 equals negative 0 squared times 0 plus 3 times 0 squared minus 1. Well, 0 times anything is still 0. So one intercept is 0, 0. Setting each one of those equal to 0, set negative x squared equal to 0, set x plus 3 equal to 0, and set x squared minus 1 equal to 0. Add 1 here, and take the square root of both sides. X equals plus or minus 1. So 1, 0, negative 1, 0. Subtract 3 from here, and we get negative 3, 0. And divide by negative 1, x squared equals 0, x equals 0. We get the repeat of the 0, 0. And so we have the 4 intercepts listed right there. Now, examples 11 and 12, we are asked to actually find the solutions, which was the whole point of this whole section, and it took us till now to do so. Realize we can use anything in this whole section or previously that we can in order to find those answers. When we say what are the real solutions, such as situations like this, we're asking what values for x will equal 0. So in other words, we're solving for x. So I'm going to do grouping or try grouping. And so I group here. Since this is a negative, that means I'm going to have to change this sign to a minus. Then I am going to factor out x squared, which leaves 3x minus 1. And I'm going to pull out a 6 here, which will leave 3x minus 1, which is a really good thing because we want the 3x minus 1s. So this is 3x minus 1 times x squared minus 6, which equals 0. Now I can set each one of these equal to 0 and just solve. 3x minus 1 equals 0, x squared minus 6 equals 0. Let's do this one first. Add 6, x squared equals 6, and take the square root of both sides so that x equals plus or minus the square root of 6. Over here we're going to add 1 and then divide by 3 so that x equals 1/3. So the possible solutions would be 1/3, root 6, and negative root 6. Number 12. X to the 4th minus 5x squared minus 36 equals 0. Now I see this as a quadratic form. It looks a little bit strange, but realize I can factor this relatively easy. This is x squared minus 9 times x squared plus 4. And all I have to do is set each one of those equal to 0. X squared minus 9 equals 0, and x squared plus 4 equals 0. Let's do the right one first. Negative 4. or subtract 4, x squared equals -4, and when we try to take the square root of both sides, we realize that will provide no solution. Add 9 here, and we get x squared equals 9. Take the square root of both sides, and x equals plus or minus square root of 9, which is equal to plus or minus 3. And so the two solutions for this particular answer would be positive 3 and negative 3. We're going to go ahead and do number 13. We'll wait till the next video.